Welcome, everyone. My name is JJ, and this is
Jasmine.
Welcome to the Green Room. We are here at 8-Ray Group's HQ. It is our first ever episode of the Green Room podcast, and we are excited and nervous. We are going to be documenting our journey in 2025, starting with this podcast. Jazz is here to ask a few questions. I am the CEO of 8-Ray. Lots of stuff has been happening in the last few years since COVID. So we just want to kind of like start things off and tell you guys what's going to be happening this year.
Okay, thank you. So before we get into what's happening this year, I'm going to take it back to the beginning.
Take it back.
Yeah. So my question is, what is 8-Ray? Who are 8-Ray? How did you come up with the name? Just tell us a bit more about how 8-Ray was formed.
Okay, so 8-Ray are a live music entertainment agency. We're based in Henley-on-Thames. We provide high-end live music entertainment for the events industry. So we have a wide range of artists and talent, from solo acoustic acts to party bands, show bands, orchestras, jazz acts, high-profile artists. And we basically provide them with opportunities, paid opportunities to work in the events industry. And it could be a wedding, it could be a private party, to a sports hospitality event, to a big corporate event. So, yeah, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. I am a musician. Mm-hmm. I've performed for the last 24 years professionally. I'm getting on a bit, and I still perform now, and that is my background. So as a musician performer, I was in the music industry in terms of I got signed to Sony BMG in Germany for a bit. I've performed with the likes of Ed Sheeran, doing the circuit in London. So I've been in the music business. And then my background has always been in performance. So I turned professional at 15 years old, doing the pub scene, and then performing at weddings and corporate events. And then I did my first ski season, which is a big part of my journey.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was fun, but it was hard work performing. My first season, I performed 21 gigs a week.
How many weeks was it?
So I did 3 months on my first season, 3 gigs a day, which was a lot of work. But that was my apprenticeship to music performance, because I was able to perform every day, 3 times a day, in the altitude, and understanding performance, performing in front of different types of people, different types of nationalities, understanding the science of entertainment, which is a big part of my knowledge and expertise and what I've brought into 8-Ray. So that was the experience I got from the experience I got from the Alps was huge.
Yeah.
And
so that's
then,
kind of where you started. And then where did 8-Ray come? So
that's where I started, and then fast forward a few years and all the performance experience I got, my big part of my values and my background is, my parents from the Philippines. My parents migrated to the UK in the 70s, and hard work and working hard is a big part of my family, and they came over to the UK, worked hard, was able to give me the opportunity to get into music and do what I want to do, but here in the UK, so very appreciative of that. And then my dad was a big part of supporting me in my music. He was my roadie. He was a musician himself. He was amazing, had a great ear for music, could play piano. Growing up, hearing him playing piano just by ear, just by, picking it up and just playing songs.
Natural.
And That was really cool.
Hmm.
And then in 2010, he passed away. He passed away with Parkinson's and a motor neuron disease, which is really tough for me to take because obviously a big part of, my life and supporting me with music and my journey. And then, 2011, I decided to give up the pop star dream because alongside trying to make it as an artist, I was also, like I said, performing at parties, events, corporates, weddings, and building that side of things, which is what I really knew.
Yeah.
I felt that as an artist, I was good at performance, but actually writing songs and delivering the goods in a studio, in a recording studio, that wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I quickly learned that.
You're really good with like people and building relationships, and that's probably like why you ended up in the music industry business wise. Like, you're good with the sales, talking to people, building those relationships.
Yeah, and that's all part of it, right? And like that journey. But then, what did I do? My dad passed away. I decided to give up that pop star dream and start something. Still perform.
Yeah.
But start 8-Ray.
So what's the meaning behind the name 8-Ray?
The meaning behind 8-Ray is...
Because it's quite a random name for a lot of people to be like,
it is.
Why is it 8-Ray?
So 8-Ray. So I'm going to mention this because he will have a go at me for not mentioning his name on this. But the name actually came from one of our artists called Ben Lee.
Okay.
Because I wanted a band name a few years before. And he came up with the name 8-Rayed Sun.
Okay.
But actually, 8-Ray, the 8-Rayed Sun is the symbol for a Filipino flag.
Nice.
And he knows, like everyone knows that, like knows me well, family values are really important. 8-Ray is my dad's legacy. It's my legacy. And, so
it's really personal then.
Yeah, personal. We bring those family values into the culture of 8-Ray too.
Definitely do.
So, yeah. You think that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You're like I don't know, brother. I can't say dad because you're not old enough to be my dad.
Wow.
That's a compliment. Okay, so fast forward to 2020. So you had 9 years of normal business, building the business, and then COVID. So how did you kind of get through COVID? Because that was before, obviously, I started. So, what?
So, God, this is 9 years in. I mean, it was always in that 9 years. It was up and down. I think all business owners, for small business owners, it's a tough game. The music and events industry is tough industries anyway. But so it was up and down. But we had great clients. Great artists. We, built up a pretty decent team in terms of we were 16, 17 employees at one point before COVID. COVID hit and had to put the team on furlough.
Yeah.
And we just got through COVID. We got through COVID and then...
What did you do during COVID though? Like, were you able to do any kind of business or did you just kind of shut down for like the period from like March to like December or something?
Yeah, so what happened is we went virtual.
Okay.
So my main thing was to carry on with marketing and being at the forefront of our clients and people's mind.
Yeah, because everything was online then, wasn't it?
Yeah, so what I did, the biggest thing I did over that period was the Henley Lockdown Festival.
Okay.
Which was a 3-day virtual festival that I turned around in 3 weeks.
Wow.
With the help of incredible local business owners in Henley.
Yeah.
Where I put a small team together and we delivered this virtual festival We raised 23 grand for the NHS
Wow, that's
and the
amazing.
local mental health charity.
Mm-hmm.
But within this time, we put on a few of 8Ray's artists,
Mm-hmm.
but we also got local businesses involved. So we had like a Sean Dickens, who's a local celebrity chef,
Mm-hmm.
and his restaurant, he was able to kind of do a little cooking masterclass in his
Oh,
kitchen.
nice. Yeah.
We had a children's entertainer locally do something
Mm-hmm.
for the kids. I
Yeah.
got local gyms involved to do some yoga and some fitness
That's
stuff.
cool.
So we did that.
So it wasn't just like a music festival. It was like a huge, like,
Yeah.
overall family,
Yeah. the
music,
community
fitness.
thing.
Yeah. That's good.
And that was but that was the platform and the learning to go virtual for
Yeah.
8Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So when we did that, I was able to build a case study around that, and then I used that to then go to our existing clients who were then ready to go virtual themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So then provided one of the events we did was for an event agency, one of our clients who did an event for Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
all virtual, and we had 3 bands perform there, so that was great.
Wow.
So we had some revenue coming in
Yeah.
with virtual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a little virtual music festival at a venue in Reading. That was our last thing.
What was that one
That
called?
was called Sounds Purple.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds Purple Festival. It was another brand that we had pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And we did that at a local venue in Reading. And that was great. And that was, we were able to help our musicians and our acts
Yeah.
on our roster.
That was probably like the
And-
hardest time of musicians' lives. Like all their bookings, their gigs, their whole income just stopped. So
Yeah, like awful time for musicians.
you were
Well,
really
for-
good at like thinking on your feet though with that. Like it felt like forever, but if you think about it, you did all of that in like less than a year. Like you went completely virtual. Like you still managed to help musicians get work and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty dark time, and I know everyone struggled with COVID. Like everyone has their own story,
Yeah.
but within my world at that time,
Yeah.
you know, and my friends are musicians. I'm a musician myself. I've been brought up and I've lived with musicians. My
Yeah.
best friends are musicians. Like, and musicians are different breeds. Like, we're different breeds. Like, we're creatives.
Yeah.
And COVID took away their creative juices, their flow, and in terms of performance, right? They
Yeah.
couldn't perform. So yes, they were more into writing and creating music, you know, in at home. However, they couldn't perform and do that.
Yeah.
And then all of their income, you know, there wasn't much support from the government. Everyone had to get jobs,
Yeah.
you know, other jobs, you know, so to support themselves financially. So that was really tough. And so most of my time through COVID was, yes, trying to keep 8Ray alive in the
Yeah.
marketing and go virtual and try and pivot as a business,
Yeah.
whilst also giving counsel to musicians and artists
Yeah.
and my friends, because kind of I feel that's my purpose as well. Like, and that's the kind, that's
It's like the family value again, isn't it?
family
like
values, but
Friends
also,
are family as well.
yeah, exactly. And that's the mission, right? As you know, Jazz, behind 8Ray, in terms of we're serving musicians, we care for musicians, and we want to help them.
Yeah.
You know, so got through COVID, came out of COVID, and then there was that first year where the whole events industry just blew up and it was just really busy. Went from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And we were really busy, but then everyone kind of was they were coming off furlough, getting used to work.
Yeah.
Teams had decreased because we had to make tough decisions to get rid of people
Yeah.
or to let people go. And then having to build your team whilst it was really, really busy.
Yeah.
And you had to take the work. You had
Yeah.
to, we
Yeah, you couldn't
were
turn
all on
anything
yes
in.
mode. We
Yeah.
had to say yes to events again and bookings.
Yeah. So that was 2021. So I joined at the end of 2022 in December. And I think 2022 was the year where you kind of like were getting investment and going out there. And then that's when obviously I came on with a few other members of the team who aren't in the team anymore. But 2023 was quite a stressful year.
Yeah, pretty
Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, and I think it's only now, and I think this is why we're kind of doing this podcast as well. Like it's
we're laughing and smiling about it now.
Yeah,
because we're kind of coming out of it, but at the time it was not anything to laugh.
No, but
laugh about.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, running a business and building a business, it's not always great, right? It's actually a lot of challenges. But what we see on social media is all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you pushing me to do this and actually me agreeing to kind of tell everyone a bit more about the story and what's happened is the last 11 years have been great, but there's also been some really dark moments. And and COVID was actually, we got through COVID, but everyone was suffering from COVID.
Yeah.
Coming out of COVID, that busy year, but then what I decided to do was to actually, I wanted to rebuild back up. And so I thought about getting some investment in and, you know, involving maybe more experienced people and bringing them to the table to help me achieve, you know, bigger things. And my goal to help as many musicians as possible and to be performing at amazing venues and doing great gigs all over the world. But also the deeper thing is for me to create the platform that we can serve musicians and give great opportunities to musicians, but then with that, then help the next generation, which is my deeper vision and purpose. Yeah. Jazz, like, and you know this and the team know this, that helping the next generation is what I feel like my purpose is. Yeah. And it's what I want to do and what I'm passionate about. But then we're helping the next generation, we can develop them, but then we then have the platform. We have 8Ray.
So that was the goal for getting the investment in, was so you can kind of build more on that mission.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that was clear. Coming out of COVID, it was clear what I wanted to achieve and the deeper vision. Yeah. So then getting investment and then potentially with that, I knew a restructure was going to happen. Yeah. So we got some initial investment. I brought a couple of partners in and then we were able to recruit. You came in and we grew the team and we had some amazing plans. We went down the route of, you know, doing an events arm, a management arm, a production arm, obviously the agency side, and we rebranded to 8Ray Group. The team, as I said, we grew the team, and then we brought in a new financial director. The partners brought in a new financial director, and lots of things happened. I don't want to go into too much detail. Yeah. But basically, things didn't go to plan, and
I think we were kind of let down.
We were let down, and our financial director didn't hold his end of the bargain, and I had to then make a lot of changes and had to make really big decisions to keep the company alive. Yeah. In all honesty and transparency, right? It was pretty dark. Yeah. And then we had to let people go. And we downsized and we regrouped and we realigned. And then last year, 2024, was a case of
new FD,
new finance team, and we rebuilt the team back up. Our clients have been amazing. They've been so supportive. Yeah. And they are, you know, and actually behind the scenes in business, stuff happens. Yeah. And it's cool for me to say this, but actually we were still delivering. Yeah. Right. So, you know, we were still working with our clients
Yeah.
and everything, right? It was just about managing internally all the stuff that was happening and going on, you know.
It's kind of
And
what you were saying about social media. Like everything you see on social media is positive,
yeah,
but you don't know what's actually going on. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
that with what we were delivering, like the events. As long as everything
yeah,
was being delivered
Yeah.
properly, then we could deal with what was going on behind the scenes.
and with that pain of 2023, like relationships, like with my artists, they were challenged. Like
Yeah.
as I said before, they are my friends, but
Mm-hmm.
there were difficult situations,
Yeah.
you know, with that, and able to, and it's been so much better last, you know, in
Yeah.
24, and
And they were so patient as well,
yeah,
and understanding as well.
yeah.
So
So that's all good, and then we are, yeah,
we're
back
getting
on
there.
track.
We're getting there.
So, but that's like 2 years of
Yeah.
of some struggle, like
Mhm.
you know, but it's all part of business, and everyone has their story.
It's like when you see a dip in, like when you invest in something, it's like you always see that dip in the graph,
Yeah,
but it's like
yeah.
then it goes up.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're definitely on the
Mhm.
we're on the up now.
And it's learning.
Mhm.
The biggest thing for me, it's like learning
Yeah.
how to run a business, how to build a business. Ultimately, I'm a musician
Mhm.
with a big dream
Yeah.
and a purpose of
Mhm.
wanting to help people,
Yeah.
right?
So on that with helping people, so you've already mentioned like the next generation and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So what's like the plan with the next gen? Like what do you want to be doing with that this year? Just on the next gen.
So next gen, the plan there is we're not going crazy. Let's just focus on the next gen side
Yeah.
of things, because as I said, it's about getting 8Ray and the platform
Mhm.
and the agency side and the booking side to where we want it,
Yeah.
and build that team.
Mhm.
However, alongside that, with my time, I'm mentoring
Mhm.
already a couple of
Yeah.
next generation young talent.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for the last couple of years,
Mhm.
and I'm still doing that. But also in the green room here, we are hosting 2 kind of
Yeah.
next generation nights.
Mhm.
So one is a junior jam that will be do
Hosted
another
by Bree.
podcast, right?
Yeah,
with
got another
Bree,
podcast,
who
yeah.
is the founder of Junior Jam, and that's 6 to 16-year-olds.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, so that's going to be hosted here once a month. And then we also have our next gen night, which I host, and that's kind of 12, 13 years old till
To like
20,
21. Yeah.
early 20s. And we want, calling out to
Mhm.
any kids, next gen,
Yeah.
that want to get into music, that want to build their confidence.
It's an amazing platform to have here, and like the community as well come to like support the next generation as well. It's not just mums and dads, it's like community people as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it's a really positive thing, and I think it's nice to have like the progression from junior jam. If you're starting at like 10 or 11, like if you do junior jam for a few years, you can then like graduate to next gen, move on to that, and then you have like a bit more of a set. And then there's the
Nice.
potential opportunity obviously to the green room sessions to be a support act for an 8-ray group artist,
Yeah.
which I think is a very exciting opportunity for people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Jazz, so you just explained that whole process really, which is great. So, you've got the junior jam, 6 to 16, you're building up more, then you go to next gen. And I host that. I can also advise and mentor on the event as well when they perform, which is cool. And then when you're ready, you can then potentially support an 8-ray established artist on the green room sessions. So we've got junior jam, next gen, and then the green room sessions.
yeah.
So watch out for.
Yeah. So now that's next gen kind of covered.
Yep.
What's the plan with 8-ray group for 2025 onwards?
So 2025 is refocusing back into what we're good at, what we know, and that is providing incredible high-end live music entertainment to the events industry.
Yeah.
So we are going to be supporting and helping our existing clients more.
Yeah.
We've got a client day on the 29th of January here in the green room, where we're inviting our existing clients. And then we're doing a big push of getting new business, new clients that align with our values, align with us, you know, book entertainment. And we just want to build great partnerships. And I think that's the thing for me, like in business, it's a case of like, our existing clients are so amazing.
Yeah.
And they love what we do. They love us.
Yeah.
We're aligned with so many things like values, which is big for me. And actually,
it's nice to
working with
actually
great
see
people.
like the sales team building such strong relationships with their clients.
Yeah.
And also from a back office point of view, like even from like accounts, marketing, like even logistics with fee, like everyone like has such a good relationship with the clients. Like it's not just one person, then we palm you off and that's kind of it. That's the event's done. We don't care anymore. It's like we really do care about our clients, and it's nice that the relationship's reciprocated as well.
Nice.
And they come back to us and they trust us to provide such like a good service for them.
Yeah, that's good. And so we'll just do more of that, more of what we're good at.
Yeah.
And building back up, building the team.
Any plans for expanding?
Yep. So one of the goals in 2025, which is already in motion and we already have contacts and deals on the table, is to expand on territories.
Yeah.
So the UK market is highly competitive. There's a lot of great music agencies out there.
Yeah.
There are, and there's great talent. And I feel as a country, like we should be proud that we're delivering this level of entertainment now, because actually all the rest of the world want to book UK artists.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking the high profile. We're talking like, you know, the show band, the party band, the acoustic act or the roaming band. Like we're
just a different level.
Yeah. So UAE is a focus for us. We already have deals on the table, like I said, and we are watch this space. Actually, I don't want to go into too much detail and give it away. But that's UAE is part of the plan for 2025.
Nice. So you mentioned as well the high profile.
Yes.
So who's the high profile?
Very good, Jazz. You've done your homework. So the high profile side of things, that's another new thing in 2025. Our new financial director.
Yep.
I say new, but he's been with us for a year now. Nick Lawrence from Big Star Music Management. He has his own accountancy firm as well, but he looks after over 500 artists, UK and globally.
Nice.
They're not just their finance, but their business management. So he's a business manager.
Okay.
And he's been great. He's advised me with 8Ray loads. He's such an amazing guy and such an amazing company.
Love him.
He has been able to open doors and give me access to managers and the top agents for a lot of the celeb high profile artists.
Nice.
So now what we've done in 2024 is he's made those introductions. I've been able to build my own relationships with these managers, these agents, and they are all interested in corporate work. Yeah. And that's kind of, that's great for us.
Yeah,
so
that's
now,
like our biggest kind of niche, isn't it? The corporate world.
Yeah, exactly. So now we've launched our high profile artist division where we have over 100 artists, high profile, that we are working with. And we're working with their management teams, with their main agent we've got good relationships with, and we can offer those artists to our clients, knowing that we can look after our clients because we have the relationship with the actual manager and the
you're not going
agent.
through like 3 different people and like getting everyone else's cut added on. It's just direct and best price as well.
Exactly. Because that is the problem in the game.
Yeah. And easier logistics as well, because you're speaking to the direct agent. You're not again going through 3 different people to try and make sure that someone gets on the right flight.
And it's the main thing is the fees. Like pretty cutthroat out there. Like, you know, you really need to have the relationship.
Yeah.
And also they need to take you seriously. You know what I mean? So take you seriously. So I now have the relationship. So if I contact a specific manager about an event for their artist, it's like, well, they know me.
Yeah.
So
They trust you. Like, you're not going to mess them around.
Yeah. And it's a legit thing.
Yeah.
But also vice versa, I'm not going to approach that manager or the agent unless I have something serious on the table. Yeah. And I've the team know that now. Yeah. You know, like I've gone through that with you guys. So, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
So that's a big part and an added-on service to our clients, because a lot of our clients, you know, from a high-end wedding, destination wedding, which I've played on with my band, there's been the celeb artist that's come out and done a half an hour set. Yeah. And it's like, well, let 8Ray do all of that for you. Yeah. It's like a package, basically. Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting. So we've got UAE potentially. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else. Yeah. And then high profile artists. Keep going with what we're doing. Keep focused on what we're good at. Yeah. You know, and help our musicians, you know, build this great team at 8Ray. You know, that's important to me as well in terms of building a great team, a world-class team that cares, that are good people. Let's have fun. Yeah. It's been pretty tough the last couple of years, but let's enjoy this. I'll go get the bottle of wine. You know, and use this great HQ, this space, the green room, to do things like this, to help the next generation and give them a platform and a venue to perform at. You know, inspire 8Ray and the team to come to a really cool place to work, invite clients to, you know, and so. Amazing. Sounds very exciting. I'm sure there's more and stuff, but this is our first podcast, Jazz. Yeah. That's fine. I'm not going to ask you any more questions. Yeah. You can go home and have dinner now. Cool. But yeah, we're going to have some clients and some acts on the podcast in the coming months. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, thanks for sitting down with me. Thank you, Jazz. That's okay. And yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you soon. Yeah. Bye.